Hello and welcome. Today's video, we're going to talk about some U.S. history. And U.S. history that I'm referring to is, I find this ironic. My previous video, I did a video about Calvin Coolidge v. Herbert Hoover. Now this video is going to be about Herbert Hoover v. Franklin D. Roosevelt. They're both U.S. presidents, both around the same time period. But this time period was probably the worst economic time period in U.S. history. It was the Great Depression. The Great Depression spanned 11 years, and it spanned both their presidential administrations. One was a failure. The other one, success, longevity. It appears that way. Now, what I find ironic about Herbert Hoover was that this Herbert Hoover, president, was born poor, born to a Quaker family, was a self-made man, worked his way up, eventually became president of the United States. But yet, his policies, his attitude, his view towards the Depression was very callous, very detached. He always boasted the economy will fix itself. So the policies that he implemented, the programs that he established to help quell the Depression were very conservative and did little or nothing to improve the situation. So when 1932 came around for re-election, was Herbert Hoover going to get re-elected? Knowing his attitude towards the Great Depression and the situation was very removed? Probably not. No. Here comes FDR. Now FDR grew up the exact opposite of Herbert Hoover. He was born into a Dutch aristocracy, born very wealthy, didn't need to work, became involved in politics, was previously governor of New York. But yet FDR was more empathetic to the struggles of the American people, far more than Herbert Hoover. FDR had implemented programs during his administration that are even still around today. Programs like SSI, Section 8. Those programs he helped implement to help poor Americans get back on their feet or provide some sort of income when they can't provide for themselves. Also, FDR was reelected 4 times. Don't you realize that had he lived out his 4th term, FDR would have been in office for 16 years. So, what FDR did that Herbert Hoover didn't was he made the American people think that he cared. He empathized with the struggles with the common Americans, and he took action. The action may not have been most appropriate at the time, but it was better than not doing anything or doing very little or being detached. Another thing about FDR was his only plight in life was he was stricken with polio when he was younger and lost the use of his legs. By the time he was elected president, he was pretty much confined to a wheelchair. Yet, that man put in more work in office as president before all the other presidents before and all the presidents after. Irony. So, the Great Depression was oversaw by a president that did little, and it was oversaw by a president that really put in the effort in trying to get Americans back on their feet. Now, did his programs work? Did it end the Great Depression? No. But it was better than not trying at all. So, let me know what you think. Comment, if you will. If you'd like to content, if you'd like to contact go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and have a good day.